everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm going to be doing a review of the Winsor and Newton Promarkers. I've been really looking forward to trying out these markers for quite some time. I've heard lots of rumors about them, and one of the biggest rumors I heard was that these markers could possibly be better than Copics. And as you know, like Copic markers are what a lot of people think are the most top-notch marker out there. So to hear that there might be another one out there that's even better was really something that made me curious. I just want to thank real quick before I get started the Winsor Newton distributor of Singapore for letting me try out this set. But just to be clear, this is not a sponsored video and all of the opinions are my own. So now to get on to the review. So the Winsor and Newton Promarkers, they are an alcohol-based marker. They are dual-sided, which means they have a fine nib on one end and a chisel nib on the other end, or a broad nib. I always say chisel nib and not broad, and I usually say bullet tip and not fine. So if I mix them up throughout the rest of the video, that's what I mean. So the set that I have is the 12+1 set number 2. It has 12 colors and 1 colorless blender. I've really actually enjoyed using this set a lot in the last few weeks, but I'll go into that later. So in general, the Promarkers have 148 colors, and this set comes in a kind of a plasticky clam shell type case. I suddenly cannot speak. Which is kind of nice. I mean, it's something that you could pop the markers in and out of and reuse if you want, but it's also something cheap enough that you could throw away without feeling bad about it. The thing that I was really impressed by was that the label in front of the case is actually not just a label, it's also a booklet. And inside the booklet, they give you a little bit of instruction on how to use the markers, about the nibs, about working on paper, working on other surfaces, overlaying and blending, and using the Promarker blender. So I don't know, I was kind of impressed by that because other marker brands like never give any kind of instruction with your markers. It's just a really nice extra touch that would be really helpful if you were new to markers, especially, I think. So the markers themselves, I really kind of like the design. They have a pointed end which has the fine nib inside, and a flat end which has the chisel nib or broad nib inside. I kind of like that because I'm the type of person who doesn't really look at the marker much while I'm working. I check the color and then I use it and then I quickly put it down and pick up another one. So sometimes with my Copic markers, I fumble like crazy to uncap the correct end, but with these I find I don't have that problem because it's so different looking. So I kind of like that design. Otherwise, the marker feels nice in the hand. It's a round body with a little bit of a nib to stop it from rolling off the table, but it kind of could roll off the table anyway, so that's a downside. The plastic does feel like plasticky, but I personally don't feel like it feels cheap. It kind of has a nice finish to it. It feels good in the hand. It does have a sticker for a label, but the label feels like a really nice quality sticker. There's a bit of lamination to it. And I have been touching these markers quite a bit while I was using them in my sketchbooks for a few months. And I did not see any degrade to the sticker whatsoever yet. They still look brand new. So I think it's nice quality. The nibs themselves also feel like really good quality. In fact, they look a lot and feel a lot like the Copic original nibs, so I don't see any problem with them. They feel like nice quality. There's no fraying or anything like that so far. Also, one thing I should point out is the top. I did not record it. I did not get it on the close-up, but on the top of the broad nib on the cap, there is another sticker that has the color of the marker and a color code there, which I think is a very nice touch. Not all marker companies do this, but it's really nice to be able to see the color from afar. Like if you put them in a cup with the pointed side down, you can easily see what color the marker is and be able to grab them out very quickly. I like that. It's a nice touch. It's something that I think all markers should have, but not all of them bother with this, so I really like that. So here I'm starting to swatch out the colors, and the first thing that came to mind when I started to swatch them out for the first time was that I was pleasantly surprised at how nice the colors look on the page. I was a little bit worried when I first saw the set. The labels made them look a little bit darker than I think they are, just a tiny bit. Plus, like, I think it was because when I was younger, I had Prismacolor markers. A lot of the times these are reminding me of my Prismacolor markers that I had when I was a kid. especially since back then I also only had 12 colors and I had to make them work for everything. But those Prismacolor markers had very vibrant colors that were very difficult to use, so I was really anxious that these would be the same way. But I was very pleasantly surprised to see that there were some really nice light colors, some mid-tones, some like kind of darker tones too. So I was just really happy that these were a lot more workable than I thought they'd be. The other thing that hit me like a ton of bricks when I first saw them was just how amazing the ink quality is. Like, I've heard people say the ink quality is good, but wow, to see it in person, it is really stunning. The ink quality is just, it's so flat, so like graphic. I don't know how to describe it. It's so smooth looking. Like, it's just totally smooth looking. It's really nice. I think especially people who might be graphic artists or people who just like really smooth, very flat colors, they would be really happy with these markers. Like, I think they're just kind of amazing. So I'd have to agree with a lot of people and say that these are better in Copics in one way, which is the ink quality. The ink quality is definitely superior. It is quite amazing to see in person. In fact, when I first started to swatch these out, I was like, that's it. Let's go back to the art store. I want to buy more. But I had to hold myself back because I want to try the brush markers before I decide if I want to buy more or not, because I might like the brush markers more than the Pro markers. So I definitely wanted to give them a try before I dived into anything yet. So I'm also showing you the different marks that these nibs make, and like I had said earlier, these remind me a lot of the Copic original markers, so they make pretty much the same mark. So if you've seen my video on how to use chisel tip markers, you'll know exactly how to use these. So I'll definitely link that in the iCard. Definitely check that out if you haven't seen it yet. I was worried, of course, about how these will blend, especially since I'm used to the brush nibs, but they actually do a really good job, especially the fine nib. The fine nib is something that you will get used to very quickly, even if you're not used to the chiseled side. It's very easy to get used to the fine nib. It's something that you could definitely use at first while you get used to the chisel side. The chisel side does make me feel a little clumsy at first, even after a couple of months of not using it. I had to kind of get used to them again. It definitely makes I think the word clumsy is just the right way to say it. It just makes you feel clumsy at first. But they do blend together really well, and that might be partially the ink. The ink quality is so good that it just seems like it helps to smooth things out even after you're done applying the marker to the paper. So it just, I don't know, it somehow makes it much easier. When I first did get these markers though, I was honestly worried, especially with the fine nib, that the blending would look really streaky because like it is a smaller tip and filling a large area would be kind of difficult. But same with the broadside, it's really easy to get a nice flat image as long as you just go over the area once or twice while it's still wet. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to repeat myself a lot, but I did feel like the blending was actually a lot easier with these than I thought they would be. So for the colors that come in this set, I was actually pleasantly surprised, like I had said, with how nice the colors are, but they also worked pretty well together. There was only 2 colors that I felt like I was missing in this set. I really was missing a black, especially when I was doing this illustration. I really wanted to use black and gray, but I just didn't have it, so I just had to use whatever I could to kind of make it look nice. I was even tempted to bring in like some Copics, but I told myself not to because I wanted to showcase these markers the best I could, so I wanted to keep it to just the 12. And even in my sketchbook when I was testing out the markers and getting a feel for them, I tried to keep to just the 12. So even though I was missing black quite a few times, I just did my best to use something else instead. Another color I was really missing, especially in my sketchbook, was a skin tone color. Like, I missed that like crazy. But there is something kind of rewarding and fun about using a limited color set. It really makes you be inventive and creative with the way that you use color, which I think is a lot of fun. Something you could do sometimes to really get yourself out of like an art block and like just to have fun, really. I found that if I layered the Y417, which is the lighter yellow, with the M647, which is the pink color, in the shadows of a character's skin, I kind of got a peachy color out of it, which was kind of nice. I use that a lot. I also like to layer different colors just to see if I put them in the skin, if it kind of looks like a skin tone. So there's definitely ways around not having an actual skin tone marker. For this character, I used a light blue, which is the B138, and the M137, which is what I think is purple. They actually labeled that one as fuchsia pink, but to me it looks more purple than it does pink. That could just be me. I don't know if I've already said this, but there are 148 colors altogether in the Promarker line. There's a pretty good range of colors according to their website, so it looks like a pretty good choice. And the price for these markers are much lower than Copics in most countries. I did check out the UK, their website said that these markers start at £2.68, and I have heard rumors that they sometimes go on sale for as little as 50p, which is kind of crazy. If I could get that deal, I would like just buy everything I could. In Singapore here, they sell for $4 each, and in America at the Dick Blick website, which is the only one I checked really, they were selling for $3.59 each. But on Amazon, I saw this set that I'm using here for sale at $26.44, which is only a little over $2 per marker, so that is a freaking steal. If you can get that, go for it. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. So in conclusion, I really like these markers. I think they're really amazing. I'm surprised how much I like them despite the fact that they don't have a brush nib. And the only other big downside to these would definitely be that they are disposable and not refillable. So that is a pretty big downside, but they do make up for that with the price. So I would highly recommend these markers. I don't think that you're sacrificing anything for going for these markers over something like Copics. I think they are just as good in quality, and you will be really happy with them. I would highly suggest maybe getting a couple Copics and a couple of these, see which one is your favorite, because I think there will definitely be people who prefer these, and there'll definitely be people who still prefer the Copics. So I'm kind of in the mix. I don't mind having them side by side in my case and continuing to use both of them, because I do still like the refillability of the Copics, but I really like the ink quality of these for sure. So yeah, that is my review. I really hope that this was helpful for someone out there, and let me know if you guys are interested in these markers, or what your favorite type of marker is, or your favorite marker color, or your favorite art supply. You know, I'm kind of addicted to art supplies, so I don't really mind hearing any of this. So yeah, let me know in the description below, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. I post art related videos every week. And if you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing or not doing, then definitely check me out on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. I know I had missed a week or two on YouTube, so if you want to know what's going on, definitely check me out over there. And if you like this drawing and you want to get a print, then definitely check out my Redbubble. All of the links to this will be in the video description below. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!